Shameless love whispers your name when silence tries to erase it. You ignore my voice, but my shameless heart still beats your rhythm. I call because silence is a storm I refuse to drown in alone. Shameless calls echo love's fierce refusal to be ignored or forgotten. If this touched your soul, don't scroll, like, comment your favorite quote, and subscribe for more. I'm shameless because love demands honesty, even in unanswered pleas. Ignoring my calls is your silence. My shameless love is the storm I call shamelessly, a lighthouse in the fog of your silence. Your silence carves a void only shameless love dares to fill. I'm shameless for calling because love refuses to be politely silent. Ignored calls echo the soundtrack of my desperate devotion to you. Shamelessly, I reach through the silence, breaking the walls you build. You don't answer, but my heart sings your name in every ring. Silence may be golden, but shameless love is a wildfire in my chest. I call because shameless love never knows when to stop fighting. Ignoring me is your choice. Shameless love is my relentless truth. Each ignored call is a secret prayer only my heart understands. Shameless love breaks through silence, shouting your name into the void. I'm shameless because loving you silently would be to lose myself. Silence answers, but my shameless love is a thunderstorm beneath it. Ignored calls are the scars I wear from loving you too much. Shamelessly I call because love's courage never bows to silence. You ignore my voice, but I call with the roar of 1,000 hopes. I'm shameless because calling you is breathing life into my despair. Silence is your refuge. Shameless love is my endless, burning plea. My shameless calls are the last light flickering in your growing darkness. Ignoring me is your silence. I'm the storm you refuse to face. Shameless love doesn't ask for answers. It demands only your truth. I call, reckless and raw, because silence kills what's left of us. You hide behind silence. I bleed shamelessly through every unanswered call. Love's courage is shameless, even when met with cold indifference. I'm shameless because the pain of silence is worse than shame. Each ignored call is a poem of heartbreak I dare not publish. You silence me, but my shameless heart keeps beating your name. Shameless calls are the scars you cannot see, but I carry daily. I call into the void, hoping love can still break through silence. Ignoring me doesn't stop my heart from shouting in your quiet. Shameless love burns brightest when the world turns its back on us. Your silence is a wall. My shameless calls are the cracks appearing. I'm shameless because loving you silently feels like drowning in shadows. Every call ignored writes a chapter of pain in my love story. You don't answer, but my shameless love refuses to be silent. I call, knowing you won't pick up, because hope is my rebellion. Silence hides your fear. Shameless love is my defiant flame. I'm shameless for calling because silence suffocates more than words. Ignored calls are wounds only shameless love can dare to heal. You silence my voice, but not the ache that screams your name. Shamelessly, I call through the empty spaces you left behind. I'm shameless because love doesn't wait politely for permission. Each ignored ring is a silent scream only my heart hears fully. You ignore me, but I call because love never gives up quietly. Silence answers my calls with emptiness. Shameless love fills the void. I'm shameless because loving you without you hurts more than shame. Ignored calls are the invisible chains binding my restless heart. Shameless love calls loudest when all other voices have fallen silent. You silence me with ignoring, but my love screams through every ring. I call because shameless love refuses to be a whisper in the dark. Your silence is a fortress. My shameless calls are the battering ram. I'm shameless because losing you quietly would kill my soul's fire. Ignoring me doesn't erase the love bleeding through my desperate calls. Shameless love is a rebellion against the silence you choose. I call with open wounds, shameless and raw, hoping for a crack. You ignore my calls, but my love still whispers your name to the stars. Silence may protect you, but shameless love breaks down every barrier. I'm shameless because hope is the only language my heart knows. Ignored calls carve loneliness deep into the bones of my soul. Shamelessly, I call because love refuses to die in silence. You silence me by ignoring, but my heart shouts louder than ever. I call, shameless and relentless, because love never knows when to stop. Your silence is a shadow. My shameless calls are the dawn chasing it. I'm shameless for calling because silence is a wound that never heals. Ignored calls are the secret prayers of a love too wild to tame. Shameless love refuses to be quiet even when met with cold silence. My dear, why does silence answer my calls when my heart screams your name shamelessly? Every ignored ring fractures my soul more than words could ever reveal. I'm shameless, yes, but my pain hides behind every unanswered call. Ignoring me won't erase the echo of my love in your silence. I call into the void, hoping your heart will break through the quiet. Shamelessly, I reach out, but your silence is a cold wall. My calls are prayers you refuse to answer, but I keep begging. Each missed call is a dagger wrapped in the veil of hope. I'm shameless only because my love has nowhere else to go. Silence isn't peace, it's the loudest heartbreak I've ever known. I know I'm shameless, but your silence makes me question my worth. Ignored calls are my unspoken confession of relentless love and regret. You ignore my voice, but my soul's plea lingers on your doorstep. Shameless calls, shattered hopes, and a heart that refuses to let go. I'm not afraid to be shameless if it means holding on to you. Every call ignored is a crack forming in the foundation of us. I'm shameless, yes, but that's how desperate love sounds in silence. Your silence is the punishment for my shameless, endless love. I call knowing I'll be ignored because hope still blazes inside me. You silence my calls, but you cannot silence this aching heart. Shameless, I press call again because love is louder than pride. Ignoring me doesn't erase the truth buried in every desperate ring. My shameless calls are echoes of a love you choose to deny. The silence between calls is a wound I wear like armor. I'm shameless because I refuse to lose you without a fight. Ignoring my calls is your way of saying goodbye without words. Shameless love screams louder when it's met with deafening silence. Each unanswered call is a silent poem of heartbreak and hope. I know I'm shameless, but your silence leaves me haunted. I call like the moon pulls the tides, relentlessly and shamelessly. You ignore my calls, I ignore my pain, but both bleed the same. Shameless, because I still believe your silence holds a secret yes. My calls are prayers lost in your quiet storm of indifference, ignored, forgotten, yet shamelessly still calling for your attention. I'm shameless, yes, but my love is an unbreakable prayer. Silence answers, but my shameless heart refuses to be silenced. Every ignored call is a star burning out in my night sky. Shameless calls reveal a heart too brave to let go in silence. You silence me by ignoring, but I roar through every ring. I know I'm shameless, but my love refuses to vanish quietly. Ignoring my calls only amplifies the song of my restless heart. Shamelessly, I reach for you through the silence that suffocates. Your silence is a canyon where my shameless cries echo endlessly. I call again because love doesn't die with just one goodbye. I'm shameless, but each ignored call deepens my soul's wound. Silence doesn't heal. Shameless love breaks through every quiet wall. You ignore my calls, but my heart still beats your name shamelessly. Shamelessly desperate, I call, hoping you'll answer this broken prayer. Ignoring my voice won't silence the scream of love inside me. I'm shameless only because your silence leaves me no choice. Each ignored call is a shard piercing through my fragile hope. Shameless love is the loudest voice in a room full of silence. You don't answer, but my shameless heart still calls like a beacon. Silence is your weapon. Shameless love is my armor and my wound. I know I'm shameless, but calling you feels like breathing. Ignored calls are the scars no one sees, but I feel deeply. Shameless love is the echo you refuse to hear. Yet I keep shouting, you ignore my calls, but my heart knows no quiet surrender. I call shamelessly because hope is a fire I cannot extinguish. Your silence is a ghost haunting every shameless ring of my phone. I'm shameless because love doesn't ask permission to break or heal. Ignoring me only makes my shameless love burn brighter in the dark. Every call ignored is a story of love and pain no one tells. Shamelessly, I reach through silence, hoping to touch your soul. You answer silence with silence, but my shameless heart still listens. I'm shameless, but your silence leaves me endlessly chasing shadows. Ignored calls carve loneliness into the deepest corners of my being. Shameless love is an ache that refuses to be hushed or hidden. You ignore me, yet I keep calling because love is my rebellion. I'm shameless because surrendering feels like losing my own soul. Ignoring my calls breaks me, but shameless love keeps me whole. Every unanswered call is a secret tattoo of pain and hope. Shamelessly, I call because love is a relentless prayer for you. Silence answers, but I call with the thunder of 1,000 storms. I'm shameless because loving you silently is impossible to bear. Ignored calls write heartbreak across the pages of my soul's diary.